At the beginning of the story, we see Nathan, who works as a bank assistant in a bank in the city of San Diego. Nathan had a rare genetic disorder that made him unable to feel physical pain. One day, while Nathan was standing in the bank with his colleagues, listening to the boss talk about the Christmas bonus, Sherry arrived. Sherry also worked at the bank, just like Nathan. Nathan liked Sherry, but he had never told her about his feelings. While Nathan was in his office, an old man named Earl came to him, who needed a loan. Nathan couldn't approve the loan for Earl because he did not meet the bank's requirements. However, Nathan still decided to help him and granted him the loan. Earl thanked Nathan for this. Later, when Nathan was getting coffee for himself, Sherry suddenly arrived. Startled by her sudden arrival, Nathan hurriedly spilled the coffee on his hand, which burned him. Due to his disorder, Nathan did not feel any pain, but Sherry panicked upon seeing this and tried to give him first aid. Nathan refused and assured her there was nothing to worry about before returning to his cabin. While applying ointment to his burnt hand, Sherry entered his cabin, apologized, and started talking to him. During the conversation, Sherry invited Nathan to lunch, but he declined because he was very shy. After Sherry left, Nathan looked at a photo of Earl and his wife, which made him realize the importance of having a life partner. He quickly ran out of his cabin and stopped Sherry, agreeing to go to lunch with her. The next day, Sherry and Nathan met at a restaurant, where they had a great time together. During their meal, Sherry suggested that Nathan try the restaurant's famous sandwich. Nathan refused and then explained his condition, how he could not feel pain, which was why he avoided eating certain foods, as he could accidentally bite his tongue without realizing it. Sherry was completely shocked to hear about this strange disorder and jokingly called Nathan Superman. She kept encouraging him to try the sandwich, and eventually, he agreed. When he tasted it, he was delighted because it was the most delicious sandwich he had ever eaten. That night, while playing an online game with his gaming friend Roscoe, Nathan told him about Sherry. Nathan had never met Roscoe in real life, but Roscoe was his only and best friend. When Nathan shared details about Sherry, Roscoe encouraged him to go on a date with her. Following Roscoe's advice, Nathan got ready and went to meet Sherry at a club. Sherry was very happy to see Nathan there. At the club, Nathan noticed that Sherry had created some emotional paintings, which she was selling. Nathan and Sherry spent quality time together, and she shared stories about her life and family. While they were talking, one of Nathan's college friends arrived and called him No Pain King, teasingly punching him because he knew Nathan couldn't feel pain. Nathan's friend mocked him, but Nathan didn't react. After the friend left, Nathan explained to Sherry how kids at school used to hit him often because they knew about his disorder. When Nathan stepped away to the restroom, he returned to find his friend talking to Sherry. Something about this seemed off to Nathan. His friend was trying to flirt with Sherry, which Nathan didn't like. Sherry realized this and cleverly gave Nathan's friend another drink, which made him feel sick. She then left the club with Nathan. Nathan was thrilled to see how Sherry had smartly taught his fake friend a lesson. Afterward, Nathan took Sherry to his home, where she was amazed to see so many books in his room. When she asked, Nathan explained that because of his extreme shyness, he rarely went out, so he spent most of his time reading books. Nathan and Sherry grew closer and became intimate. The next day, Nathan was very happy because he finally had a life partner with whom he could share his thoughts and future. Even at work, he was in a good mood. However, suddenly, 3 robbers dressed in Santa Claus costumes entered the bank. They fired shots into the air to scare everyone and ordered them to lie down. Nathan, Sherry, and all the bank employees were terrified. The masked robbers then demanded the bank manager open the vault and hand over all the money. When the manager refused, they shot and killed him. Afterward, the robbers grabbed Nathan, as he was the assistant manager and knew the vault's passcode. Despite being beaten, Nathan refused to reveal the passcode due to his inability to feel pain. But when they started torturing Sherry, Nathan had no choice but to reveal it. The robbers then looted the money and stuffed it into their bags. Meanwhile, the police had arrived outside the bank. The robbers took Sherry as a hostage and used her as a shield while exiting the bank. Since the police couldn't shoot because of Sherry, the robbers used the opportunity to fire at the officers, injuring them before escaping with Sherry in their truck. When Nathan regained consciousness, he saw the robbers driving away with Sherry while the police officers lay wounded. Determined to save her, Nathan picked up a fallen police officer's gun, got into a police car, and started chasing the criminals. The robbers, realizing they were being pursued, panicked and fired at Nathan, trying to kill him. But their attempts were futile, as Nathan continued his chase. Since the criminals were in 2 separate vehicles, they decided to split up. This meant Nathan could only follow one of them. He chose one vehicle and kept pursuing it. After some distance, due to a traffic jam, the robber's vehicle was forced to stop. One of the criminals, Ben, got out, frustrated at the traffic, and started shouting at people. Nathan approached Ben with his gun aimed at him and asked about Sherry's whereabouts. Realizing that Nathan was not a police officer, Ben attacked him and tried to escape. But since Nathan didn't feel pain, he kept chasing Ben. Their chase led them into a restaurant kitchen, where a dangerous fight broke out between them. Nathan suffered serious injuries, but since he couldn't feel pain, he continued to fight. During the fight, Nathan accidentally killed Ben. He was shocked by what he had done. Nathan then took a photo of Ben's tattoo with his phone, hoping to find more information about him. He quickly left the scene and called his friend Roscoe, sending him the tattoo photo and asking him to investigate it. At first, Roscoe refused, as he didn't want to get involved in a police matter, and he had never even met Nathan in real life. But after Nathan pleaded for help, Roscoe agreed. Meanwhile, outside the bank, the police were investigating the case, eager to track down the criminals as soon as possible. In the next scene, we see Nathan going to the shop of the old man, Earl, whom he had helped by giving him a loan. Earl was shocked to see Nathan in such a state. Nathan asked Earl for help and then, using a knife, removed a bullet from his shoulder and bandaged himself. Since he didn't feel pain, this didn't bother him, but for Earl, it was a disturbing sight. Nathan then injects Adrian to keep him conscious and gives some cash to the old man before leaving. In the next scene, we see police officers who are shocked to see Ben's dead body, but they still don't know where Ben's other accomplices are or why Nathan is involved in all of this. The lady officer calls Nathan and asks him about the stolen money. In response, Nathan tells her that he is not doing all of this for the money but to save Sherry because he has heard that 75% of hostages are killed within the first 3 hours. That's why Nathan was willing to do anything to save Sherry. After hearing this, the officer understands that Nathan is not a professional killer or a criminal, but is only doing all of this to save his girlfriend, Sherry. Meanwhile, we see Ben's brother, who was very worried because Ben had not returned. Simon reassures him, saying, "Don't worry, everything will be fine. Maybe Ben just stayed behind to get some ice cream." Here, we see Sherry, who was sitting comfortably but was also worried because Ben had not returned. At this point, it is revealed that Sherry was also involved with them, and the whole plan was hers. Additionally, Sherry was Simon's sister, and Simon was a criminal who had been to jail several times before. However, this was the first time Sherry had planned a bank robbery with her brother. On the other hand, Nathan had asked his friend to find out about the tattoo on Ben's body. His friend had discovered where such tattoos were typically made, so Nathan heads there that night. At the location, a lady tells Nathan that the tattoo parlor is closed and asks him to leave. But when Nathan requests, she lets him inside. Nathan meets a man there who used to make such tattoos. When Nathan shows him a picture of the tattoo on Ben's body, he immediately recognizes Ben. Nathan lies to the man, saying he is Ben's friend and tries to gather more information about him, such as his full name and where he lives. However, the man realizes that Nathan is not really Ben's friend and is only there to collect information about him. So he attacks Nathan. A brutal and dangerous fight breaks out between them, leaving both of them badly injured. Since Nathan couldn't feel pain, he punches broken glass shards, embedding them into his fingers and hands, and then uses those glass shards to attack the man's face, wounding him and bringing him down. Nathan then tortures him for information about Ben. The man reveals that Ben's full name is Ben Clark, and he previously worked for the army. After obtaining this information, Nathan spares the tattoo artist's life and leaves. In the next scene, we see Ben's brother, Andre, who is still worried because Ben has not returned after so much time. He decides to go to their home to check whether Ben is there or not. Simon tries to stop Andre, warning him that doing so could put them all in danger. However, Andre refuses to listen, saying that Ben is his brother, and he just wants to check if he's home before coming back. Meanwhile, Nathan arrives at Ben's house, but no one is there. He starts exploring the house, but in the process, he gets injured due to multiple traps set up inside. However, since Nathan cannot feel pain, it doesn't affect him much, and he continues searching the house. Soon, he finds a uniform labeled Clark & Sons Automotive Repair. This makes Nathan realize that Ben must be hiding at Clark & Sons Automotive Repair Garage. Nathan is thrilled to figure this out and prepares to leave the house, but his foot gets caught in a trap, and he ends up hanging upside down from the ceiling. Nathan is completely clueless about what to do next, so he calls his friend for help. His friend agrees to help and tells Nathan that he will be there in 10 minutes. Meanwhile, Andre arrives at the house, and he is shocked to see Nathan hanging in the trap. He has no idea who Nathan is or what he is doing inside the house. But then Simon calls Andre and informs him that Ben is dead. Someone has killed him. Andre immediately assumes that Nathan is his brother's killer, so he becomes furious and starts torturing Nathan. Nathan is unaffected by the torture since he doesn't feel pain, but he pretends to be in pain in front of Andre. Just before Andre can kill Nathan, his friend arrives and knocks Andre unconscious, freeing Nathan from the trap. Nathan is shocked to see his friend in real life because his friend had told him that he was a tall and powerful man, but in reality, he was the complete opposite. Before Nathan and his friend can leave, Andre regains consciousness and attacks them. A fierce fight breaks out between Nathan and Andre, and with his friend's help, Nathan eventually kills Andre. Meanwhile, the police officers arrive outside and order Nathan to surrender. Nathan now knows where the kidnappers have kept Sherry, and he is determined to save her at any cost. He asks his friend for help. His friend puts on a helmet, rushes outside, and speeds away on his scooter. The officers mistake him for Nathan and start chasing him, but soon realize that they have been tricked. The officers are furious at Nathan's friend. On the other side, Nathan heads towards the garage to rescue Sherry. Meanwhile, we see Sherry, who is now realizing that she has made a mistake and that everything she has done is wrong. This leads to an argument between her and Simon. In anger, Simon points a gun at Sherry, but just then, Nathan arrives and tells Simon to put his gun down. Simon complies, but then reveals the truth to Nathan, that he never kidnapped Sherry because she is his sister and was part of the bank robbery. Simon also tells Nathan that Sherry befriended him only to use him for her plan. Nathan is completely shocked by this revelation because he had risked his life and done everything for Sherry, only to realize that she had betrayed him. Taking advantage of the situation, Simon attacks Nathan, snatches his gun, and leaves him trapped under a car to die. Simon also decides to betray Sherry and kill her, but before he can do so, the police arrive and shoot him, saving both Nathan and Sherry. It turns out that Nathan's friend had told the police everything, so they arrived in time to help Nathan. Since Nathan was badly injured, he was placed on a stretcher and taken to the hospital, while Sherry was arrested. However, Simon was still alive. He shot and killed a police officer before escaping in a truck with the stolen money, trying to flee the city. The lady officer was still alive, and Sherry drove her to the hospital. On the way, Simon's truck crashed. Now furious, Simon wanted to kill Nathan at any cost, leading to another intense fight between them. The lady officer sends Sherry to help Nathan, but it is useless because Sherry is powerless against Simon. Nathan, despite being gravely injured, attacks Simon with his broken hand and uses his fractured bones to stab Simon in the stomach, killing him instantly. Nathan then collapses and loses consciousness. When Nathan opens his eyes, he finds himself in a hospital with his friend by his side. The lady officer, who had survived, tells Nathan that since he saved a police officer's life, the government has pardoned his sentence. In the final scene of the movie, we see Nathan sitting with Sherry inside the jail, eating food together, because Sherry had to spend the next few months in prison for her involvement in the bank robbery. And with this, the movie ends.